timing of the kettlebell swing. If there is one thing that I have seen so many people get wrong, including myself, with the kettlebell swing, it is the timing. I see it every single day when I watch some Instagram post on swings, and it just always, I'm like, nobody told them, they don't know. So you're not going to be like that, because you are going to know, and your kettlebell swings are going to look freaking amazing, okay? Now, what do I mean by timing? Timing is the part when we've already gotten the kettlebell up to this position. So we've done our hike, we've done our powerful hip extension, and now we have to work on the timing. By timing, I mean what is happening as your hands come down and we're going into the backswing. So you know that your hips have to come back somehow, but like, when do you do it? How does it happen? How far back do you go? All that sort of stuff we're going to clarify right now. The timing that we are looking for is for the hips to break no sooner than the wrist reaching the level of the belly button, okay? This is gonna feel hard. I've had different teachers teach it to me different ways. I'm going to give you all of the clues, cues, and tricks that I've used to help myself, in the hopes that one of them will resonate with you. Now, how do you know if you're breaking when your wrist reach the level of your belly button? I will tell you how you know when you are not doing that, okay? You take a video of yourself doing a kettlebell swing. At the top, as soon as your bell starts to come down, do you do this, okay? If you look like a rocking horse, so think of, like the little toys that babies play with that they get on and they're, like rock on it, a rocking horse. If you look like a rocking horse, that is not it. That is not what you want. You cannot let your hips come back as soon as that bell starts to come down. Here's the reason why. If you do that, you're going to end up with your hips way back, and then you're not going to have any more space for your hips to go back because you've probably reached the full expression of your hinge. So after that happens, you're going to have to let the bell come down. Then as you have to let the bell come down, then your lower back is going to get pulled into the whole thing. Then you're not going to have the wrist coming to your crotch. They're going to be down here by your knees. You're going to be leaning forward, and then it's going to be hella hard to get up into that powerful hip extension, because you're going to be using your low back to pull you up, and then your hips are just going to be able to get in for like the last portion of the piece of the swing, and that's not what we want. So hopefully that helps you understand a little bit more about why this timing is super important, okay? So what we want to think about is one of two things. You can think wait, 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 or you can think about playing chicken with the bell. So for those of you who don't know, playing chicken just means basically you're waiting until someone else calls their bluff. Like if you can think about two cars heading towards each other, they're playing chicken, and the first one to swerve would be chicken or egg. I'm not sure, but we want to think about literally just waiting until the very last possible second for our hips to go back. Now, what does this mean? This means that because you wait until that very last second for your hips to come back, that your hips have got to come back hella fast, okay? You cannot just like coast into the hinge. You have got to get into that hinge like you freaking mean it. That is a mistake that I made for the longest time. I was okay with the wait principle, but I wouldn't get my hips back fast. I would wait, but then my hips would still be going kind of slow, so I'd still end up with the bell just a little bit too low, and then it affected the rest of my swing as well. So know that because you wait, you have to get your hips to go back faster. You can't wait and then get your hips going back slowly, because all the pieces, they're just not going to sync up. You are going to want to practice the timing and speed of this portion of the swing before you incorporate it into a full swing. Just like the 1, 2, 3, go drill, I really like to use the same principle in this portion of the swing when we are practicing it. We don't have to use the kettlebell, we can just use the motion of our own body, but it is going to help our brain to literally understand when the hips need to go back and how fast the hips need to go back. To practice the timing and speed of the hips, you're going to start with your arms in front of your torso. So this is the end of our powerful hip extension. Now, we can use our same 1, 2, 3, go that we used in our last drill, but just apply it a little bit differently here. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna let your hands come down towards your torso, and then I want you to think 1, 2, 3, and your hands are going to reach about the level of your belly button at 3, okay? Not here and not here. It should be right about here. So you see how there's just kind of like a really nice diagonal line out from my shoulders. So 1, 2, 3, go. All right, so you see how fast that happened? And that was even a little slow, honestly. I need to have my butt back in that hinge by the time the O comes out of my mouth, okay? So 1, 2, 3, go. I want you to practice that 1, 2, 3, go drill. You're working on when your hips start going back and how fast your hips start going back. So both of those components need to happen to make that portion of the kettlebell swing a success.